Easter is coming up soon. Now, whether you celebrate it or not, this is a good time of year to think about the goodness of life. Namely, are you good in life? Now, immediately, some of you, the moment I said, "Are you good?" you had all kinds of thoughts in your head. Am I good? What does it mean to be good? Why is good?
I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
Now, in order to help you with all of these weird existential thoughts you have in your head, just because I asked that one simple question, I'm going to give you the answer with a different question. I know, I get it, it's confusing, it's weird, but you did the right thing. You came to class, Balance of Power. I got you covered with today's lesson. A key question to remain a good person. Let's get it in. Now, growing up, there was a Bible passage that I had trouble with, that it was difficult to wrap my brain around, but after wrapping my brain around it, I realized it was one of the key things you need to know on how to be a good person. Now, the Bible passage is this. Jesus said to his disciples, "It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven." Woo! Now, growing up, knowing I don't want to be poor, that was painful. That hurt. That sucked. That was whack. I didn't like it. Did not like it. Did not like it. Did not like it. As you can see, I did not like it. But I had to listen and try to figure out, why did this exist? Why was it in the Bible? Now, whether you believe in the Bible or not, you can still learn a lot from it. So let's explore. At first, it didn't make sense to me why it was even there, and what did having money and money accumulation do with getting into heaven. But the older I got, the more I started to realize that there was a massive imbalance, or a battle, if you will, between two main things, between being a good businessman and being a good man. I was like, interesting. Examples? Let's run them. If you're a good businessman, let's say you're the CEO of a company, right? Your goal, your job, your mission is to make sure that the company itself makes money and the shareholders get money. Now, often, what you've probably seen recently just in the news, often in order to raise stock prices or to make sure you cut losses and be a good businessman and make sure that the shareholders are happy, you start to do things like cutting your labor force. You start firing your employees. You start laying people off because that's the thing that you need in order for the business to grow. But when you're letting people go, how does that make you feel in terms of being a good man? It doesn't mean you're a horrible man, but can you really say that you're a good man? Are you the greatest man? Is that something where, if you're being charitable, if you're helping your fellow man, would you not be more doing the opposite of extending them more time, more courtesy, more benefits, more whatever? Spending more money to make sure that they keep their jobs, because you might know these people. Or even if you don't, they've got homes, families, bills, they've got things of their own that if they don't have their job anymore, they're out. They're destitute. All the different things you need a job for, they don't have it anymore. Or it's very limited. And yeah, sure, they can go find another job, maybe, depending on the job market and what you fired them from and how long it's been since they were in the job market searching. Point is, there's that difference. You have to be a good businessman by chopping people's wages or firing them altogether. Or if you do the other thing, keeping them around longer than you have the ability to, business-wise, making sure that you give them great severance packages, again, spending more money in terms of people thinking that you're a great businessman. They won't. They think, what are you doing? This isn't a charity. This is a business. But even that statement right there is exactly what I mean. You have that difference between being good and being good business. So quickly going back to my childhood when I first heard this, there is the part of me that did not want to accept this at all. But then I realized I don't have to. I mean, I have to accept it, but I don't have to not get money. I don't have to not be rich. I don't have to accept poor. I started to realize and recognize all the different times in the Bible that people who God favored, they had money. Whenever God was blessing them, he would give them money, livestock, land, big old families. He would bless them with all kinds of material things, and they would be rich men. So I thought, how is that possible? Then I replayed the message, read it over and over again, and I realized something. He left a loophole. He said it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven. He never said it was impossible. He never said you couldn't do it. He never said that the moment you're rich, you're done. And because, like I said, I didn't want to take no for an answer. I didn't want it to be like, nah, you're just going to end up broke in seeing all these other cats in the Bible who got money. I'm like, how do I do that? How do I get that? And so I thought about it. How would I put a camel through the eye of a needle? Instantaneously, it came to me. Chop them up, put them in a blender, and either take a medicine dropper and squeeze that camel one drop at a time through the eye of the needle, or blend them up and turn them into thread and thread him through the eye of that needle. But either way, I am going to find a way to chop up this camel and make sure he gets through the eye of that needle. Jesus didn't say it was impossible. He just said it was easier for one versus the other.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
So the goal, I gotta find that. I have to find the blender. So growing up, every time I was faced with that same choice of good businessman versus good man, and they're not always mutually exclusive. Sometimes you can do both and it's fine. But oftentimes, you'll find yourself having to make that compromise, having to figure out which do I serve. But really, what you need to ask yourself is the question, like I said, to help you remain a good person, which is, where's the blender? How can I chop up this situation? How can I chop this camel up, squeeze him 1 ounce at a time, 1 drop at a time, with a medicine dropper through this needle? How do I do that? What is your blender in each situation? How can you make sure that the business, and this is just an example, I'm not saying that all rich people are business owners, but I'm just giving an example. How can you make sure that you accumulate wealth, accumulate riches and money, and you still remain a good person? So that is the question I offer up to you during this time for you to think about. What is my blender? How can I remain a good person at the same time remaining productive? How can I be good when it comes to accumulating wealth, but also good when it comes to accumulating good karma? If you believe in karma, or just being good for goodness sake. Maybe you're not trying to please God, maybe you're not trying to impress other people, but you just feel that you should just be good because it's the right thing to do, which I'm down for that either way. Whatever it is you believe in, I'm pretty sure you, watching this right now, want to be considered a good person. But you also don't want to be broke. You also don't want to be poor. You also don't want the things in life that make it difficult and hard because you don't have enough resources. But again, you might find yourself over and over and over with that same choice. How do I be a good business person and a good person? Find your blender. So, where's yours? And I know it might be difficult, just like a lot of things in life. Getting things and acquiring things, it's way easier, right? Because again, acquisition is elementary, but retention is hard. Now that's the end of today's quick lesson. Now, you already know what to do. Go ahead and throw thumbs. And if you found value in this video, which I know you did, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We're still on our goal, our road to 10K. So help us out and let everybody know. Share this video by sliding it to someone who you know might need to hear this message. Now I know you love these videos. You love this learning. So come on back, click on another video and get more learning in. But until next time, deuce deuce.